there's something that happened this morning that made me think of a pretty decent topic, which was horses that are like extremely emotional that you have a hard time teaching. And I have two examples, two horses that are here, and the one that made me think of it was Penny. Penny's a really emotional horse, and she has a hard time letting herself quiet down enough to get a message, to learn something. She struggles because she finds herself in, I don't know, some kind of little emotional tizzy. But the one thing that I did notice this morning is that she showed that when she does learn something, she can even prepare to do what you want because she recognizes something about the next thing coming. So what's cool about it is it shows that she's capable of connecting the dots, if you will. Okay, so this morning I changed their blankets from sheets to mid-weight blankets. We've got a little storm rolling in, and I have to change all their blankets. And she sees the blanket and quickly gets into putting her nose in the area where I would be asking her to put her nose in the hole that is created between the chest buckle and the wither protector. Because I'm lazy, I don't undo the chest buckles. I teach all the horses to allow me to slide a blanket over their heads. All horses can learn that. I've had a lot of people say, oh, my horse would never be able to learn how to do that. My horse would freak out. Well, if you do your blanket work, like I said, everything just needs you to do the time. But anyway, so it's when I first do it with a horse that's never seen it before, you do have that, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, moment of panic. And since I'm confident that every horse can learn this, I work the horse through it, and it's something that they are technically taught. So my point is that Penny is so emotional and has such a hard time learning because she gets so emotionally spun out that when I go in to change her blanket, she tells me I am able to learn. I am, because I see that blanket and I know what I have to do to help you put that blanket on me. So where's the hole? I'll put my nose in it. I promise I've learned this. And what it does for me is it gives me confidence in their ability to learn things when you otherwise think that they're, too emotional to calm down enough to learn anything. It gives me the confidence to know that if I break it down in a way that she can comprehend everything that's part of it, all the befores, like what she has plenty of time to get it in her head what we're about to do, because I still have to take the other blanket off of her, and that goes over her head as well. And then I have to, run, because I basically do it kind of like a sock. I take the wither piece and I stick my hand in there, and then I feed the whole thing up on my hand, and I take the tail flap and I take it and I run it under the wither piece, and then I grab that and the wither piece again. So then when it's time to flip there, I put my other hand in, and then they're expected, and my elbows hold the chest pieces down. So now the hole that they're expected to put their head through is between my hands and my elbows. And as soon as I put myself in that position, they know to find that hole with their head. Penny knows, you can see it when I grab the blanket and start doing this. She's like, oh, I know my job. And I like that because it helps me understand their learning abilities. Like we do tests with kids to find out what their learning abilities are or what their learning disabilities are. So her learning disability is she's an emotional spaz. Her learning abilities are you have to have a lot of steps in advance so that she can get herself grounded enough to go, oh, I know what's about to be expected of me. I really like it when horses offer me that. I have another horse that also struggles with things because he's had a lot of human contact damage, and that's Tyson. And the very, very first thing that Tyson ever learned was to put his blanket on over his chest. Like, that's the first thing that I had evidence of when I went to do the same thing. When I went to run my hand into the blanket to get the blanket ready to put over his head, he started looking for the hole well before I was ready to ask him to put his nose in it. And still to this day, it warms my heart to see him do that, because I know for sure that that is something he's proud of. He's proud of himself that he knows how to do this. I know how to, it's kind of like, oh, I know this one. And every time he offers me the, ooh, I know this one, it makes me smile. So give your horses little things, simple things, daily routine things to learn how to do. Okay, like even like teaching them to put their head in the halter or something. Teach them and then watch for when it clicks. Does it click for them to put their nose in the halter when they see you reach up and grab the halter off their halter hook? Like watch for when it connects to them, because that'll help you learn what kind of span of learning your horse has. So, like if it takes my horse all the way until I've got the halter like rubbing up against their face before they go, oh, I know this one, and they drop their head down into the halter, then you know that it takes them, a really long time to learn because they're not processing it well in advance. Horses that will say, oh, here comes the halter, I know what's expected of me, I'm ready. Those are horses that you can really like have a lot of pre-work done, but as long as your cues are well in advance, your horse is always going to be able to process, kind of not in an assumption way, but process ahead of time, prepare ahead of time. Like if you're about to ask a horse to canter and it recognizes the gap. Well, horses do that too. When they know they're in a nice casual walk and then they feel you gather the reins, the horses get all, I'm going to be asked to do something else. If you ask your horse to canter and you gather your reins in a certain way to pick up their shoulders, and then you put your leg in a certain way to tell them which lead you're going to ask for, knowing when that clicks for them, you can have horses that are absolutely always prepared for the next thing you're going to ask them to do. I really like gauging based on things like that, like Penny. Sometimes I'm frustrated with her because it seems like she just can't get her head quiet enough to learn something. But by doing the blanket this morning, she absolutely tells me, but I'm capable of learning if you're willing to break it down into such small pieces and to show me well in advance what you're going to ask of me. I can learn. Tyson, same thing. Show me in advance what you want me to learn, and I can learn. And I will learn the steps that happen well before the task so that I'm prepared to do what you want me to do. So sometimes your horses just need you to have a preparation, thing. So I guess Penny just reminded me that, even horses that seem like they can't learn, really can, and then they also show you what their learning abilities are or what their learning disabilities are. It's kind of a cool gauge. I got another thing that I'm going to talk about too that's like a cool gauge of when they're telling you that they don't know what you want. So stay tuned for that one.